All right, what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of weeks are different types of energy. The first one that we'll talk about is kinetic energy. Let's start with the unit for kinetic energy first. The unit for kinetic energy is joules. The unit for any energy is going to be joules. So let's keep that in the back of our mind as we go through the next couple of lectures. Now, anything that moves has kinetic energy because anything that moves has a mass, and of course if it's moving it has a velocity. Now this by itself looks a lot like momentum, which we talked about before break. Now kinetic energy is kind of like momentum's cousin. You still have something moving, so it's got a mass and it does have a velocity, but it's going to square the velocity, putting more importance on speed because speed has a bigger influence on energy, and you have half the mass, meaning that mass just isn't that important when it compared to momentum. So with all that being said, this is the formula that we're going to be using to find kinetic energy, which is measured in joules. Let's go over the units that we have here. So mass, it's kilograms. Velocity is meters per second. And of course, kinetic energy will be measured in joules. The other thing you're going to have to learn to do is rearrange the equation. So taking this equation and say getting m by itself. Well, to get m by itself, you multiply by 2, and then you would divide by v squared. So you would get m is equal to 2 times the kinetic energy over velocity squared. And to do the same thing, and get v by itself, you would multiply by 2 again. Then you would divide by m. And then to get rid of this square, you'd have to square root the whole thing. So in summation, kinetic energy is measured in joules. Here is the formula for kinetic energy. And here is it solved for mass and solved for velocity. All right, hopefully that helps.